And we are live. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Triple Threat Show. As always, I'm your host, Meryl Fatemi. No Nolan Jambor with me, no Jeremy Lapidus, but making his debut today on the Triple Threat Show, my friend and soon-to-be co-host over here for our USC segments. We got Jacob Curley. How we doing, Jacob?
Good, brother. Thank you so much for having me. Anytime I get to talk UFC with you, it's a good day. So I'm just happy to be here, and thank you for having me.
Of course, brother. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Just
Of course, brother.
just a quick fun fact story. This man right here pretty much taught me a lot of pretty much 60% of what I know. The other 40%, I'll take a little bit of credit for it. But the guy that introduced me to this sport, the guy that kind of started this whole thing, it's this man right here. So a lot of love right there for Jacob Curry, and we had to bring him on for the UFC segment
Thank
for
you,
a
brother.
big time UFC card tonight. UFC 319 is finally upon us, starting in about 4 hours now. It's just before 4 o'clock right now here on the East Coast. Prelims should start around 8 o'clock here, and yeah, I mean we are locked in for a crazy night of fighting. Jacob, what are we thinking over there?
Yeah,
What's your
this is
initial
gonna be.
thoughts looking at this card?
I'm so excited. Honestly, you can say that this is like one of the top three, if not one of the biggest fights of this year so far. We've had a ton of big name fights, with like Charles Oliveira, Ilia Topuria. We've had so many good fights, even Dustin Max. You know what I mean? But Hamzat Chimaev versus Dricus Du Plessis is going to be an absolute banger, and I feel you can't expect anything less than just fireworks and like I feel like two very unique styles. You know what I mean? Like Dricus, he's kind of looked at as like an unorthodox, just sloppy, whatever he can do to win. Doesn't always look the prettiest, but he always gets it done. And Hamzat Chimaev, obviously, we know him as just one of the most scariest guys in the UFC. So this is going to be a really fun, exciting fight. I can't wait to watch, and I think it's going to live up to the hopes and dreams everyone thinks it's going to be. So
I really think so, man. Before we dive deeper into that main event, let's leave best for last over there, Jacob. Let's start over there in the prelims. There's a couple big fights in the prelims that I think are big time that we got to talk about first and foremost. That kind of one of them specifically that we got to talk about kind of relates to Hamzat. Hamzat Chimaev's training buddy. Baisuka, you're gonna absolutely. I'm gonna butcher this, and you're gonna fix it.
all these
Jacob, so
names
I'm
are
gonna
so
leave it to
tough.
you.
Bystander, yeah, they're so
Bysanger Susurkayev. I'm
tough.
sorry if I butcher it, but this man is Hamzat Chimaev's training buddy. He's been there
Yep.
for the long run. He's been there for the long haul with him. Has been training with him for the last almost decade now, and finally got his first opportunity on the Ultimate Fighting show that the UFC always runs yearly. Gets a contract and literally looks at Dana White and says, "I want to fight on." He fought on Tuesday or Wednesday, won his fight, and then looked at Dana White and said, "I want to fight on Saturday. I want to fight with my training buddy, my sparring partner in Hamzat Chimaev." He's asked for it, and he's gonna get his wish. Going out there to face Eric Nolan in a big time fight. Honestly, I'm gonna leave this one to you, Jacob, because I know you know a lot more than on me on this one. But this is a guy in Bysanger that could be taken off on a really high note here.
Oh, for sure. And I think it's crazy, just like you were saying, a couple days notice, 4 days notice, whatever. He's 9-0 right now, and obviously he was fighting in tough, dominated. I think he had like it was a body kick knockout that got him the win. And like you said, he looked at Dana, said, "I want this chance, give it to me." And Dana White, he loves those type of guys. You know what I mean? Any showman, like he loves that. So he said, "Of course." And we saw a lot of weight issues in this card as well. Brian Battle, a very popular name that we see, he didn't make the weight cut. And yeah, so that happened. A bunch of weight misses. And anyway, so he stepped in. Literally couldn't ask for a better matchup. And he's sitting at I think a minus 900 favorite on a 4-day notice, which just shows you how good this guy really is. You know what I mean? And like what you're saying too, it could be a little bit of history because obviously him and Hamzat are from the same place, and we could see the first champion from where Hamzat's from, and along with him, we could see a former champion. You never know with this guy, so it's going to be cool to see how he fights and just like how high his ceiling is in the UFC. So it's going to be really fun to watch.
Exactly. No doubt about it, man. I mean, Bysanger, just based off a record alone, he's 9-0 in his fights. He's undefeated. He hasn't seen a loss yet. Going up against a guy in Eric Nolan who hasn't fought in the UFC yet. So these are two guys that are just fresh on the scene. A lot of people haven't seen yet. And I mean, I think the public's, I mean, whoever's going to be watching the prelims, I think if I'm the public, I mean, a lot of people don't really watch the prelims. They wait for the main card to start and then they sit down and get ready to go. If there's a night to start watching the prelims a little bit, start watching UFC a little bit earlier, This is
Started
one of
early.
those moments.
9:30. Get that TV
9:30,
on. You're not gonna want to miss it.
9:30. Be ready. Get that TV on. Get the stream ready to go. If you stream it, if you're buying it, whatever you're doing, don't copyright me, Dana White. I'm not streaming it. Whoever wants to do what they do, what they do. But
Yep.
be out there and do what you want to do. I think this is a big time fight that you should lock into.
Yep.
Other than that, do you have any other big ones, Jacob, that you're looking out for on the prelim card?
In the prelim card, we also got two other. Obviously, King Green, we saw drop out. That sucks. Anytime we get to see Bobby Green fight, it's exciting. He brings the energy. Just fun guy to watch. So that sucks. We're gonna miss that one. Chase Hooper, another young stud, who's been kind of on the rise. You know what I mean? Doesn't really look like too much of like the scariest guy in the world. You know what I mean? But he's been showing up, showing out. That's gonna be fun to watch. And then the other one right before that fight that we just talked about, Gerald Mearshit, that's going to be a really good fight too because he fought Hamzat a couple of years ago. It was one of Hamzat's, I'm pretty sure it was one of his first fights in the UFC. And it lasted about 15 seconds. So it kind of just goes to show how there's really so many levels in the UFC. You know what I mean? They fought at the same time. Hamzat's fighting for the belt and he's still in the prelims. You know what I mean? So it's kind of cool to see the different levels and paths in the UFC. So definitely a solid prelim card tonight. So
Definitely. No
it'll
doubt.
definitely be good.
I mean, that Gerald Mearshart fight's going to be a big one. I mean, he's fighting a guy in Michael Oleksiejczuk who's just looking for a win. I mean, he's on a little bit of a losing streak over there, but he's fought some big names as well. He's fought Kevin Holland. He's fought Michael Pereira, not Alex Pereira. Wrong Pereira. He's fought Carlos Baralio, a bunch of guys in Mikel Oleksiejczuk. So, I mean, these are two guys that are really experienced. It should be really, really fun fight to see. Two guys that know the ins and outs of the octagon. But moving forward here, I mean, I think we got to get into the main card here. We got to start getting into the main course. We had our little appetizer in the prelims. Let's get to the main course. I mean, just kicking it off here, we got to start at the bottom. And Kaya Sakura going up against Tim Elliott. I mean, Kaya Sakura is a guy who's only fought twice. I mean, has just transferred over from the PFL and kind of burst onto the scene, goes straight up against the monster of the division in Alexander Pantoja, loses that fight in a second round submission in a tough loss, but is now going up against, kind of has a little bit of a rebound fight, going up against a guy in Tim Elliott, hasn't fought in the last 2 years, could be a nice little refresh for Asakura. What are your thoughts on this one, Curly? Just right off the bat, what are your thoughts? How are you thinking of this fight?
I think that's going to be, first of all, with Kaya Sakura fighting in the first fight of the main card, that's how you know it's going to be a good card, you know what I mean? And obviously Kaya Sakura was so dominant in the one league over there in Japan, I believe, and he was just kicking ass. He's so good. He kind of has that flashy style, like that kung fu, karate, taekwondo like style, which is always fun to watch. And obviously didn't go the way he wanted to with Pantoja, just showing how good Pantoja really is, you know? And so I think that's going to be really good tonight. I think Kaya Sakura is going to put on a really good show. I think he's going to get the win. I want to say it's going to be by KO in rounds like 2 or 3. That's my guess. But he needs a big one tonight. You know what I mean? Coming over from another division as a champ, the UFC, that's a lot of pressure coming into the UFC. So he definitely needs a rebound. He needs to bounce back. And I think tonight he's going to get his first win in the UFC. So
no doubt about it.
That's going to be exciting fight.
I'm honestly right there with you, Jacob. I mean, going up against a guy like Pantoja in your first fight in the UFC with that amount of pressure is borderline an impossible situation. I mean,
I agree. Impossible.
So, no doubt about it. I think Asakura gets the win. I'm honestly kind of leaning towards a first round win. I think Asakura is really hungry, and I think we might see a little bit of rust early on from Tim Elliott. We'll see how it all plays out. But I think first or second round for me, probably submission as well. We'll see how it all lies. Asakura is a big time striker, so it could go either way. But finish first or second round in favor of Asakura. Moving on from there. Honestly, I think you're also excited for this fight because I know this is one of your favorite fighters. So I'm gonna let you talk about that guy. But first, I'll take the MVP side of things. We got Jared Cannonier going up against Michael Page. Those who don't know, Jared Cannonier is one of Jacob's favorite fighters, so I'm leaving that to him. But Michael Venom Page is a guy who's a big time fighter, only 23-3, just was in the UFC when he started his career, moved out overseas, and is now back, just transferred back to the UFC about a year and a half ago. Just got a big fight win over Shar Bullet, who's big time on the rise. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. But I mean, this is a guy in MVP who's has over a 5-inch reach or a 5-inch height over him. So I'm expecting Michael Page to take big time affect big overall just usage of that. But what are you thinking over there for Jared Cannonier? Are you worried? Do you think things are gonna go on the uptick? What are your thoughts for Cannonier?
So this is tough. Like you said, I love Cannonier. All just such a respectable guy in the UFC. You know what I mean? He's fought so many people. He's even Anderson Silva. You know what I mean? That's how long he's been around, and he's 41, older guy, but he's one of those just like I said, respected guys in the UFC, and he's really held his own. You know what I mean? He's beaten a lot of good guys, fought the best of the best in that division. And MVP, he's kind of done the same thing. Beat Kevin Holland, beat Shara. You know, he just kind of walked into the UFC and is doing his thing. MVP's not like a spring chicken either. He's 38 years old, so this is kind of an older fight, and it doesn't even feel like that. I'm sure we're not really going to see any signs of age in this fight. Um, but yeah, it's going to be a really interesting fight because, as we know, MVP, he has that flashy style. He'll kind of just dance around you, pick your shots, pick his shots where he wants to hit you, and just make it look fun. And I feel like Cannonier is more of a guy who just kind of, if you get hit by Cannonier, you're going to feel it. You know what I mean? He's kind of like that orthodox, but it's going to be a really good fight. And I'm excited for it. I got to take MVP in this, though, just because the streak he's been on and Cannonier is older. But I wouldn't be surprised either way. But I'm going to take MVP. I want to say by decision, you know, just kind of picking his shots, doing his thing, and just I think he's going to get it done. But I won't be surprised if Cannonier lands some heavy shots. So that one's going to be a really good one too.
For sure. I mean, Michael Page has all three of his fights since returning to the UFC have all come by decision. And the only loss that he's had was against Ian Machado Gary. And I know this guy over here is going to have a field day talking about that one. But we can talk about that another time as well when Gary's fighting. But Michael Page is a big time fighter. I mean, I'm kind of leaning a 50-50. I think it's either going to be a decision for Page or it's going to be a knockout for Cannonier. I don't think there's any two ways about it. If Cannonier,
I agree. Definitely agree.
If it goes into the third round, I'm worried about Cannonier just because of his age and his stamina could start catching up to him. And I think Page could just dance around the ring and as he always does and just pick his shots, like you said. So in that situation, I'm picking Page. But if Cannonier comes out and starts hitting Page with shots, we've seen Page fold under some of those shots. We've seen it happen. It happens sometimes. We saw it earlier on in his career. So I wouldn't be shocked if Cannonier goes out and tries to pull one of those off. But like I said, if it goes into the third, later rounds, I'm rolling with Page to get the win.
Yeah, I agree. And it's going to be cool because I feel like MVP in the UFC at least hasn't fought a guy like Cannonier. Used to be a heavyweight, you know what I mean? Drop down. So he can put your lights out. So we'll see how MVP does with that. But
for sure. We'll see how that weight cut affects
Jacob Romero, we definitely predict the MVP decision. So that's what I think.
I think I'm rolling with MVP decision right now. It's close, but I think that's probably more likely just because of the way Michael Page is able to dance around the ring and be really elusive. But moving on to the next one, I mean, the next one's also another big fight. We're getting up the ladder of the main card here. So I mean, all these fights are getting really good. Next, we got Geoff Neal going up against Carlos Prates. I mean, for the guys that don't know UFC, you guys could just say, "Oh, these are some two random guys in the welterweight division. They're 8 and 9. They're like 8 seed, 9 seed in the rankings. Who cares about these two guys?" These are two legit guys. This is a guy in Geoff Neal who's really unbelievably well-rounded, can strike. A lot of people are saying his hands are really underrated right now and are saying, watch out for Geoff Neal's knockout power. Going up against a guy like Carlos Prates, who's he's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy, really good at submission, really good at grappling, playing the ground game, controlling guys on the ground. So, I mean, in terms of that, I mean, I'm giving Prates the edge, but it would be foolish of me not to say that Geoff Neal doesn't have a chance. I really think, I mean, I'm going to let you take this one, Jacob, as well, but I like Geoff Neal's chances in this one. I really do.
I do too. I definitely do. And, you know, speaking of Ian Gary, you know, both of these guys have fought Ian Gary. Ian Gary took the crown on both of them, but they both kind of gave Ian his own little, like, hardships, you know, and I think they're both just, like, absolute dogs, two dogs. And I think, honestly, this is probably one of my favorite fights of the main card. I think it's going to be just an absolute banger, just a boxing clinic. I think it's going to be a boxing clinic. And obviously, Geoff Neal's fought so many good guys. He fought Shavkat, Thompson, Ian Gary, you know what I mean? And he's held his own, you know what I mean? I mean, I remember the fight versus him and Shavkat. Everyone just was on that Shavkat train, you know, oh, he's going to dominate, he's going to do this. And he did. He choked him out. But Josh Neal definitely landed some heavy shots on Shavkat, and that division is just so exciting. But and then Carlos Prates too. Just fought Ian Gary. It was a really close fight. I mean, he almost put out Ian Gary in the third round. We all saw that.
Yep.
I was so excited because obviously, like what I was saying, I love Ian Gary, but I was a little nervous in that third round because he was just absolutely ripping into Ian Gary. So for this prediction, I'm gonna say Carlos Prates again. I think he's gonna pull it out. But like Mirav's saying, Neil's a dog. He offers a lot. He's a vet in the UFC, especially in this division, and I think it's gonna be a banger. And another thing that I just find so crazy, Carlos Pratt too, and like on that whole team that they have, like the fighting nerds, they're all of them are just insane,
They're all
so good.
I agree.
They're all crazy, you know. And I think we'll definitely see some champs in that group for sure, at least 2 or 3. And but I mean, it's crazy. This guy's smoking cigarettes during fight camp. Carlos, you know what I mean? It's crazy. I've never seen anything like that. It's insane. And you know what I mean? His cardio was not effective when he fought Ian Gary. In the third round, it was his best round. So I just think that's just so hilarious. You know what I mean? Just to add that, but yeah, I think this is the sleeper fight of the night. I think it's gonna be a really good one. But I'm gonna take, I don't know, either decision Carlos or round 3 knockout. But like you're saying too, won't be surprised either way by Neil because he's a dog. So
No doubt about it. Jacob's spoken, and he says Carlos Prates
coming in. Take him now.
Prates knockout, Prates decision. Yeah, this is the first one that we're gonna disagree on. I'm sorry. I just think Joff Neal is. I know the fighting nerds are a big time clan. I mean, just look at they have what 4 guys now that are just unbelievable.
Yeah.
At this
So
point,
many.
yeah. I mean, I'm rolling with Joff Neal in this one. I believe. Is it true that all the fighting nerds are still undefeated, or is that in the UFC, or did that change?
Besides Carlos, yeah, I believe they're all undefeated. Yeah. So
They're all undefeated except Carlos. I mean, I think
I believe.
I'm pretty sure you're also right. I know Baralio is at least, but I'm rolling with Joff Neal's power in this one. I think he's the sleep. I also think this is the sleeper fight of the night. His fight against Shavkat, his fight against Ian Gary. Those are 2 big time fights. He also fought Rafael Dos Anjos not too long ago with a first round knockout. That was a crazy fight.
Crazy win.
Yep. So I think Joff Neal gets this one. I really think his knockout power just sneaks up, and I think he's going to steal this win. Probably, I'm predicting a second round knockout in this one for Joff Neal. I really think so. It's going to be a crazy fight, no doubt about it. One of those fight of the night candidates. But Joff Neal, second round knockout. Jacob says third round Prates. He says third round Prates. I say second round Neal. We'll see how it all transpires here. But let's move up the ladder here because we still have 2 more fights here. We're not even done. We're just halfway through.
It's crazy because I feel like we've only been talking about bangers so far.
I know,
so it's crazy. We still have two main fights. Insane.
I really think this is one of the top 3 cards of the year, easily, no doubt.
Oh, for sure. And just the depth in it is just amazing, you know.
Exactly.
Every fight is really a good fight, you know. So.
Exactly. But for that co-main event, we got Leron Murphy, always the tough Leron Murphy, undefeated out of the guy from England, going up against Aaron Pico, the new stud, just came over from Bellator, big time kid, 28 years of age. He's a big time submission artist. Honestly, these 2 guys really have similar fighting styles, and I kind of want to give this one to Jacob once again, just because he'll know a lot more about Aaron Pico. But Leron Murphy, I said this yesterday on my video on my show. If you guys want to check that out, be sure to check out the channel. But I think Leron Murphy really reminds me of Alexander Volkanovski. I mean, outside of his ground and pound, outside of his ability to control on the ground, his ability to just sneak in, sneak out, his ability to just read his opponent and he's just dominant. He's dominant on his feet. I want to give this one to Jacob just to see what he thinks about Aaron Pico. But I mean, Leron Murphy's an absolute stud, and I think whoever wins this fight is going to have their name in the hat for who fights Volkanovski next.
I couldn't agree more, and this one's so exciting too. You know, because I was watching the embedded vlogs, and Pico just looks so confident. He knows he should be here. You know what I mean? Like you're saying, he's a stud. really great wrestler, and we know that Murphy can hold his own in the wrestling game. But the way when I've watched some clips about Pico, he's just been really like foot on the gas. You know what I mean? Just full at you wrestling style, and he can throw. So it's going to be a really, really, really good fight. And like you said, I think the next one in line for Volk is going to be the winner of this fight. The only thing about Murphy that worries me a little bit against Pico is a little bit of that wrestling. And as dominant as Murphy really is, he's kind of been the decision king as of recently. You know what I mean? A lot of wins in decision, which isn't a bad thing, but it just kind of scares you against a guy like Pico who's just going to be full at you the whole time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we'll see. But I mean, Murphy's put away guys like Emmett, Dan Ige, and he's a stud. So I think this is going to be really good, really great fight. And this one for a pick, it's hard for me to tell. You know what I mean? It's hard when guys come into the UFC because even like we saw against Patchy when he first came into the UFC, everyone expected this guy to be a stud, so nasty, and the whole time he was just the nerves caught up to him. You know what I mean? The UFC, the lights are bright, the brightest lights you can find in the MMA world. So
Yep.
it's gonna be tough. I want to say I want to take Pico. I mean, it's so hard. Guys can only stay undefeated for so long. You know what I mean? Unless you're really a Taporia or some, you know what I mean? But I want to take Pico in this. I really do. I'm gonna take Pico by decision in this one, but it's such a toss up. You know what I mean? And it is kind of cool too, seeing her. Not even cool, but crazy to see that Murphy, undefeated in the UFC, and other guys he's beaten, he's sitting as the underdog in this fight against a guy who's never fought in the UFC. So I don't know. They got high stakes for Aaron Pico, and I'm gonna ride with that. Ride with Vegas, and I'm gonna take him by decision tonight. So, but it's gonna be a banger for sure.
This is a tough fight as well. I'm right there. This is a really tough fight. I mean, if we're looking at Leron Murphy's side of things, I'm right there with you. He has a lot of decision wins. I mean his ability to stand up there with Josh Emmett and let it go to decision is crazy in itself.
Crazy, exactly.
But I mean, I'm worried, especially against a guy like Aaron Pico. But at the same time, I'm also worried because this is a guy in Aaron Pico. Every time, the last time there was a guy from Bellator that came into the UFC or big name like this was Patricio Pitbull. And what happened?
Yeah.
He got absolutely roasted in his first fight.
Exactly. That's what I mean. These guys coming over from other leagues, and even Oscar Kerr, champ. You know what I mean? Gets fed these wolves in Pantoja and gets slaughtered.
Yep.
So I don't know. It's hard.
I mean, Leon Murphy is not Alexander Pantoja, so I will say that. It's not like Pico's going up against Alexander Volkanovski in his first fight. But, but I mean, I really like Aaron Pico. I think we were supposed to see Aaron Pico. The reason why we're even having this discussion is because we were supposed to see Aaron Pico fight earlier this year against Movsar Evloev. That fight got canceled, and we have no idea where that's going to happen. That's another discussion for another day. But I think I'm rolling with Aaron Pico by decision. I mean, whoever wins this fight, it's either going to be them or Evloev who gets Volkanovski. I don't think it should be Evloev just because of his history of pulling out of fights, which is really unfortunate. But I mean, they're going to it's a 50-50 draw. It's either going to be whoever wins this or Evloev to fight Volkanovski for the belt. It's simple as that. And
I definitely agree.
Yeah. So I'm rolling Aaron Pico by decision as well. Crazy as it sounds. Leron Murphy, we're both rolling. Leron Murphy gets his first out.
Taking the new guy.
Crazy stuff.
We only got one pick that's not the same. So
exactly, man. We're three for one. We're 3 for 1 so far. We're split on one and going pretty much the same here. I wonder who you're gonna pick for the main event because it's that time. Let's talk about it. We saved the best for last. And I'm really interested to hear what you have to say because these are two guys. I mean, you know it. Dricus du Plessis, the guy that I pretty much called to get to this situation. I was the biggest du Plessis guy back in 2022 when I thought he was going to go on an absolute tear and go for the championship. And eventually got it against Strickland. And then a guy in Hamzat, who, I mean, same thing. I mean, I thought he was an absolute stud. I thought we should have seen him fight for a title in 2023, early 24. Didn't happen. Ends up going up against Robert Whittaker, takes him out. Goes up against Kamaru Usman on late notice, takes him out. And now finally gets his opportunity against Dricus du Plessis. I mean, du Plessis has an opportunity to be one of the best middleweights of all time. Hamza has an opportunity to start carving his own legacy and keep going on his undefeated streak. I mean, I'm gonna let you take it away, but I mean, this is a guy in Hamzat who's basically on the same level of an Ilya Taporia right now in terms of
For
undefeated
sure.
streak, in terms of how scary he is in the ring. What do you think? How do you think this fight is gonna go? And I mean, what are you thinking
Uh,
about this one, Jacob? This is a crazy,
yeah.
crazy fight.
Honestly, I've been looking forward to this fight for so long. You know what I mean? Because it's like what you said. And honestly, I didn't always agree with you with Dricus. You know what I mean? I was gonna say if you didn't say it, I was gonna say it. You kind of called his title shot, or not even title shot, but just him being champ. And yeah, it's crazy. I mean, Dricus really with his type of fighting style, for me, it baffles my brain how he has made it this far and how successful he's been. You know what I mean? He's just very open, not like that typical style, and just like he gets it done, like I was saying earlier. And like what you were saying, this division has really just been so crazy over the last couple of years. You know what I mean? We've seen Anderson Silva that reign, and then we've kind of seen it go to Adesanya, and then we've kind of seen Adesanya fall off the train a little bit, and now we're seeing Dricus. You know what I mean? And we've had the same guys in that division for a while. You know what I mean? Whitaker, Strickland, all these guys. Dricus has been there for a little bit, and Dricus has wiped pretty much every single one of them out. You know what I mean? And you could say that Dricus has really fought his way to be here. I mean, Adesanya, KO, Whitaker, butchered him. You know what I mean? There's
Yep.
so many guys that he's beaten.
Yep.
Brunson, all these guys. And he's done his thing and really deserves to be here. But then you look at the guy in Hamzat Chimaev, who is just a straight animal. You know what I mean? There's a few guys in the UFC who you just look, I would never want to fight them. And Hamzat is one of those guys. When he looks at you across the ring and does that against the cage, you just know it's over. That and the Poton, the stare, you know what I mean? There's guys you just don't want to fight. And so I think this is going to be an absolute crazy fight. I think the tension before this fight is going to be something like we haven't seen since Yuri and Poton, you know what I mean? That like when everyone is just like, oh, oh I think it's going to be just like that.
I mean,
And
you're cutting out, my friend. I'm losing you here.
oh, my bad. Is it
Hello.
back?
Yeah, I got you now.
Got a call muted me. But
You're okay.
yeah, I'm gonna have to take Hamzat Chimaev in this fight, even though I've bet against Dricus almost every single time and he's won. I just think that destiny is calling, and I think destiny calls tonight, and Hamzat Chimaev will be crowned the new champion of the UFC in that division. So, my man, am I excited? We're gonna get some fireworks. It's gonna be crazy. I don't know how it's gonna happen. I don't know. First, I mean, 5 rounds is a lot of time for these guys. I think honestly, it's not gonna go over 2 rounds. That's my safest bet. But I mean, you never know. I mean, we've seen Dricus go to war with Sean for all 5 rounds, and they just constantly trade, you know?
Yep.
So, I
I
don't know.
mean,
It's going to be crazy, man. It's going to be the moment we've all been waiting for, as Bruce Buffer says, and it's going to be amazing.
this is gonna be one of the greatest. This is the streak that the UFC has been on. We saw July, Ilya going up against Charles. We saw June. Who fought in June? Jacob, I'm blanking here.
Oh, in
Help me,
June.
help me, help me,
We saw
help, help,
Elliot
help.
Charles. Who did we see before that? I might have to fact check.
All right, you fact check that really quick. But I mean, this is a guy in Dricus that, I mean, at the streak that he's on is on par with the streak that Israel Adesanya was on at the beginning of around the mid 2020s. I mean,
Yeah.
before 2020 to like 2022, before he fought Strickland. I mean, it's up there with the Robert Whitaker streak, the Yoel Romero streak. He's up there with that category of names. If he gets this win, I don't know what else you can say. He beat Strickland twice, who beat Adesanya. He beat Adesanya, and then he just beat the boogeyman of the division in Hamzat. I mean, Dricus said it himself. There can only be one
I think
boogeyman.
we're going to have some serious conversations in the pound for pound rankings. And that's when it gets so tough. But do you think, Mav, if he does win this fight, that Dricus should be considered top 3 pound for
Yes.
pound right now? If he does,
Yes.
yeah.
If he wins this
I
fight,
agree.
no doubt he takes Marab's spot in the top three. It is not.
I
It is
agree.
not up. It is not up for discussion. I'm not saying he's going
Do
to
you
be
think
one.
he is 3? Do you think he's number 3?
Ilya, Islam, or whatever two is. Who is? I don't
Yeah,
even
yeah,
know
yeah,
what it
yeah,
is. Probably
yeah.
Islam, and then
Dricus?
he takes Marab's spot
I
at
agree.
3.
I think that would be my streak too, for sure. I mean,
I mean,
like you're
it's
saying,
tough.
guys that he's beat. If he beats Hamza tonight,
I
He's,
don't.
you know what I mean? That no one's gonna see that happening. You know what I mean? And then we really got to start talking about where to put Dricus Duplessis in this pound for pound, and maybe even all time. So I
I
don't
mean,
know.
he might be the all-time best pound middleweight of all time. He really might be in that
Man,
conversation. As
it's so
crazy as it
tough.
sounds,
You know what I mean? It's so tough.
really is. But I mean, when we're looking at this division, I mean, for this fight, don't even look at the division. Let's look at this fight for right now. This is a guy in Duplessis that I can say I bet against him all 3 fights. I bet against him against Strickland the first time. I bet against him against Izzy. I bet against him against Strickland the second time. And I'm betting against him again tonight. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know what else to say. I can't be wrong 4 times. I can't
I
be wrong
know.
4 times.
That's the thing. And
This
then,
is a guy. I mean, this is the guy. The last time that we were in this situation, I mean, it was Robert Whitaker going against Duplessis, and it was the opposite. I said Duplessis is gonna win, and everybody else said Whitaker's gonna wipe the floor with him, and
Yep.
Duplessis won. I think it's. I'm not saying it's the same thing, but I mean, it feels like it. It really does. That Duplessis just being that underrated to this degree. I just can't not go
I
with
know.
Hamza.
I know.
I can't not go
I
with
totally
Hamza.
agree.
His ability,
Yeah.
this is going to be the strongest face-off since, like, compared to the Poatan and Yuri face-off. I mean, the
Getting excited.
Usman and Hamzat's face-off back in the day. I mean,
Yep.
it is going to be absolutely insane tonight, and I cannot wait to see it. I'm rolling with Hamzat by first round submission. I really think so. I think it's going to be a first round sub. I mean, we've already seen it in the prelim. I mean, in the press conferences. Hamzat's pretty deep in Dricus's head. If you saw the face off, Hamzat just staring there laughing. What did Dricus do? Just go straight up to his chest with his elbow, and Dana White didn't even let them get a face off the second time last night. So I mean, I really think Hamzat's gonna take this win. I think he's deep in his head. I think a lot of people, I mean, they're looking at the odds and they're saying Dricus is a plus 300 odds with his streak, with how good he is. But Hamzat's just that good. I don't know what
Yeah.
else to
I mean,
say. He's really
that's the
that good.
thing. There's no guy in the UFC, I think, that just comes off the bat with the amount of pressure that Hamzat does. And, you know, even we saw it so many times. You know, the one fight I think of when I think about that pressure is Kevin Holland, you know?
Yep.
The fact, let's just talk about this merit for a second. Thinking back on that time, the fact that the UFC tried to match up Diaz versus Hamzat is criminal. I'm just thinking about that. I'm like, oh my God.
Nate Diaz
But
knew
we
what was
saw-
going to happen, so he brought his boys with him so he could 30 v
I know,
1 him in the
exactly.
parking lot.
I mean, we all know Diaz is a gangster, but I mean, that's like feeding him to the, you know what I mean? That's crazy.
If Nate Diaz saw Hamzat, I think I don't even know. He would just not even walk in the octagon. He would just be like, "All right, I'm here. I've made it this far.
Oh my
See
God.
you later."
You know what he was like against Tony Ferguson. You know what I mean? Nice Hamzat.
I don't even want.
Crazy.
But I mean, the last time we really, even you bring up Kevin Holland against Hamzat. Do you remember what Hamzat did to Kamaru Usman? The guy that was supposed to be the boogeyman of the welterweight, the guy who was like borderline impossible to take down. What, Hamzat took him down 3 or 4 times in that fight? I mean, it was an absolute clinic. I mean, he has the best ground game. I think the only guys that have better ground game than him are probably Islam and Marab. And that's just like across the UFC, not even counting the division. He has probably the best ground game in the division. And that's what I'm worried about when I'm thinking of Dracus. I don't know how he's going to be able to deal with that. He's just going to have to land that lucky punch somehow, because if he gets on the ground, I don't see Dracus getting up. He's just too big.
I don't see it.
He's too big.
I know Dricus talked about that in one of the embedded vlogs. He was kind of saying, like, I know Hamzat's going to take me down, but I'm going to get back up. And I think even if Dricus does get back up, the fact that Hamzat is wearing you like a backpack, you know what I mean? There's only so much you can do. And I don't know. It's going to be really crazy to see. I will say the one thing that goes towards Dricus is his size. He's a big guy. You know what I mean? Hamzat is kind of ragdolled. Obviously, guys in that division, but size-wise, Dricus might be that biggest guy that he's fought. You know what I mean? So,
I mean,
I
he
don't know.
took
I'm
out
excited.
Whitaker.
It's going to be a really crazy fight.
He took out Whitaker, and Whitaker and Dricus are around the same size.
Yeah, and he smacked Whitaker's jaw. I mean, we haven't even seen that happen in the UFC before.
If you guys,
everyone was like, "Oh my God, why'd he tap? Why'd he tap?" His teeth were like indented into his jaw. When have we seen that? You know what I mean?
Yep. The problem is everyone talks. everyone talks about how he took out his teeth. Hamzat just took him out. The second he put him on the ground, Whitaker did not get up. If you get put
No.
on the ground by Hamzat, unless you're Kamaru Usman, and Drakus is not that because he doesn't have the
No.
ground game. He doesn't have any of. He has a little bit of ground game, but he's not that. You saw what Israel Adesanya almost beat him on the ground.
I know.
So I mean, he got saved by the bell in that 4th round against Israel Adesanya. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm worried if Drakus goes down. I mean, when big guys fall down, it's hard. They go down. It's hard for big guys to get down. So I don't know. I just don't see him getting up. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna have to be a knockout, and Drake is just escaping. I don't even know how that happens.
So, it's gonna be. I think if Drakus wins this fight tonight, it's really gonna shock the UFC. It's gonna send a, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if he does beat Hamzat, then I guarantee you against whoever the heck Drakus fights next, I'm gonna take him. But I just don't see a world in where Hamzat Chimaev loses. You know what I mean? And honestly, I think about it all the time. I'm like, I think the only guy, or one of the only guys in the UFC that could beat Hamzat is Islam if he literally had another foot on him and could put on 30 more pounds. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. I just don't see a guy in the UFC right now who can beat Hamzat. And I don't know. You never know what can happen tonight, but
I mean, if Hamzat becomes the champion, I mean, we're gonna see him twice a year, from 2-3 times a year. He's not gonna get away with just fighting one time a year, and that's a big thing everybody talks about.
That's the one thing that worries me about him too. Is
we
know it's tough for him to fight in the U.S. We know it's tough for him. He's had weight issues in the past. Even today, I saw something on Instagram talking about a scandal with the weight, how he weighed 184.4 instead of 181 or something. So Hamzat has issues that follow him. You know what I mean? He's been sick. Hamzat gets sick. I saw something that he literally didn't leave his house like at all for this camp just because he's trying to stay healthy. You know what I mean? So a lot of things worry about, or the UFC, when you think about it, the UFC doesn't want a guy like that as champ. You know what I mean? They want a guy like Marab or Alex who's gonna fight. They want fights. You know what I mean? But even with all that stuff stacked against Hamzat, I still think he gets it done, and I really hope he does, and just goes on a dominant run and just fights 2-3 times a year, like you're saying. The UFC would be a better place like that. So I really hope so. So
I really think so, man. It's gonna be an unbelievable fight tonight, and I cannot wait to see it. So let's just run through it. We're pretty much 4-1 in terms of being in agreement and not. We got Kai Sakura. We got just run down. I'm not looking at it right now. We got Kai Sakura. We got Aaron Pico. We got Hamzat.
Yep.
What's the one I'm missing?
So we got Hamzat, Pico. You have Neil.
Yep.
And I got Carlos.
Yep.
And then we both got MVP.
MVP, that's the other one I'm missing. Michael Page.
Yeah. They're the picks. The picks are in.
Yep. Hamzat, Pico, Michael Venom Page, Kai Sakura. And then if you like Jacob, you take Pratis. If you're taking me, you go Joff Neal. That's our picks for tonight. It's going to be an unbelievable night. I'll probably go live at some point either. We'll see how it all transpires. It's like a 50-50 chance. We'll see how it all plays out later tonight. But thank you so much for sticking around, Jacob. It was unbelievable debut. Thank you so much for coming out. This will definitely not be the last time. I cannot wait for the next UFC to talk some more. And we'll talk more soon, my friend.
Thank you so much for having us, dude. Thank you so much for having me. It's awesome. Anytime I get to talk UFC with you, you know, I could talk literally for hours, days. And
I promise.
Tonight we get to watch the best sport in the world with some of the best athletes, best fighters, and I freaking can't wait. So excited.
This will not be the last time. I promise you. The next time we hear Dana White with an announcement, the first man I'm calling is you. Next time we see UFC night, first man I'm calling is you. So you will be back, and we'll get more people in here for that as well. But thank you guys so much for everybody that watched it. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Happy UFC 319, and enjoy the fights. Bye-bye, everyone. Follow for more content and updates.